All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody out there yet? Let's see what we got in the chat. What's up, Vanilla Gorilla, Core Flake? How's everyone doing today? Aaron Polanco, what's up, my man? What's up? What's up? What's up? Glenn, what's going on? What's going on? You guys doing good? It's been a minute since the last stream. I was hoping to talk about BlizzCon. I did go to BlizzCon this year. It was my first BlizzCon. I got to link up with a lot of the fam from the guild, and I just wanted to link up with you guys, man, and just share my thoughts. Like, real talk, going to BlizzCon for the first time. How was it? I'm gonna talk about the new games that they announced, the future of Classic, the future of WoW in general, all that good stuff. So this is totally unscripted. I don't have much prepared or anything like that, but I just was kind of itching to stream today, so had to throw it on. Should be a fun time. Anybody watch BlizzCon? Anybody have that virtual ticket or just watch the coverage at least? What's up, Nevis? Fap NATO, I'm an Orc Warlock now because of Cargos. You love to see it, dude. You love to see it. Yeah, man, dual wielding the McCafe. You already know the dollar coffee's got to get the day started right. Man, what time is it even, man? With the whole, the rollback. What time is it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. 8:41. Damn. Rise and shine. We up pretty early here today. Lucky guy, how was BlizzCon? That's what we're going to be getting into today. We're going to be talking all about BlizzCon. Can answer any questions you guys have about BlizzCon. Overall, was a really, really good experience. Ultimately, though, the main thing that made the experience really cool was the people, right? So just being able to get some drinks with Def Camp and Melderon and Ale and Taladrill and a lot of people from our guild Invictus on the Scarum server. That was by far the coolest part, right? But there's some other cool stuff too. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm just letting it fill up a little bit. Hope you guys can just chill out for a minute. Get some people in here, and then we're just going to be talking about BlizzCon today. East Coast over here. Where are you from, Glenn? Where's everybody coming from? Hey, what's up, Cargo? It's first time I watch a stream since WoW Classic came out. Good to see you. Hey, baby. Chaman. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, so also I want to be talking a little bit about the future of the channel, you know, what my plans are going forward after BlizzCon. Because ultimately it was very motivating being at BlizzCon and you know, getting to interact with people from the community there. Sorry, something's a little bit scuffed over here. Okay, there we go. Ultimately, it was very motivating being at BlizzCon. Just getting to, you know, meet with other content creators, meet with some of the people on the Classic Squad dev team. It was cool, and I'm feeling pretty motivated again to make content, get back up on the horse, and pretty much, I think I have a game plan going forward. Going to be doing a lot of PvP content with Phase 2. You guys hear that Phase 2 got announced? We're a few days out from Phase 2, maybe like 8, 9 days, something like that. So Phase 2 right around the corner. That means PvP. That means rank 14, you know, honor system. That's going to be crazy, man. So I'm going to be making some PvP related content. Going to do dueling vids to start. Those are pretty easy to do, I think. Well, they can be very sophisticated to do if you want to go to the 9 millionth degree of thoroughness to get them done. But we're going to get some, you know, some pretty decent duel vids out. Also going to be doing a weekly PvP or bi-weekly PvP show. Some stuff like that. We're also hoping to do 2 episodes of Good Morning Azeroth per week, maybe. Hopefully, fingers crossed that Def and Dune will be up for it, but I was kind of talking to him a little bit about that. So, that's coming. Just pretty excited to get back on the horse, feeling a little bit of motivation again. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. We got Boar Stream. Who else? We got Tower of John. USA, Beast Coast, the only states that matters. You know, I'm an East Coast boy, right? I live in SF right now. Or I mean, in the Bay Area, but I grew up in Westchester County in New York. We're just right outside the city, just a short train ride away. Corpse camping 24/7 soon? Hell yeah. Yeah, you already know, man. It's going to be a lot of corpse camping. That's for sure. Also, man, I gotta say, at BlizzCon, there was a little panel, a little classic panel that they held before BlizzCon. It was like a fan-made panel called Con Before the Storm, and you know, our favorite people, Def Camp Meldron, were on the panel. Il was on the panel, and pretty much, is it going on Twitch? Pretty much, they were talking about Dire Maul and Endgame stuff, and then Il brought it back down to earth. He was like, "Quick show of hands in the audience right now. Who here is level 60?" He just asked the room full of people, "Who here is level 60?" Barely anybody raised their hand, dude. Like maybe 4 or 5 people raised their hand. Like it was TLDR, like. Not that many people are 60. You may think a lot of people are 60 because we've been raiding for weeks and weeks now, but actually not that many people are 60. It was interesting. And it also felt like the classic WoW community was kind of the minority there by a large margin. I wasn't exactly expecting that. I thought we were going to see maybe the majority of people playing classic WoW. Didn't feel that way at BlizzCon. It felt like the majority of people were there for Overwatch first and foremost, but out of the Warcraft community, I felt like maybe Classic was maybe 20% of the representation, the people who played Classic primarily. Just interesting stuff to note. Let me just fix the Twitch real quick. Yo, Keith, what is up, brother? Keith was at BlizzCon. We kicked it all week long. It was a really good time. World War III is going to start in the Menethil Inn. Dude, World War III is going to start at the Dire Mall. That's where it's going to really pop off, and people are going to pretty much going to see who can stay at Dire Mall the longest with the fewest amount of people. That might be the meta. I could be 60, but I have altitis. So I feel you. It's a very crippling disease. Okay. So anyway, people joining the channel right now, joining the stream right now, I just want to let you guys know we're going to be talking about BlizzCon, a BlizzCon recap. Going to be going through my experience first time at BlizzCon, and I want to give you guys kind of like the real talk. I didn't get a media pass or anything like that. I did get to meet some of the classic WoW devs, like for example Omar. I think he was the lead dev. We got to chill with him not only one day but 2 days and got to ask him questions, and I gotta say he was really cool, man. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they would be a little bit detached or kind of maybe seeming a little disingenuous or whatever the case might be. I had no idea what to expect. Omar was mad cool, I have to say. He was a really cool guy. It was great meeting him. Altitis there too, Don. I'm very sorry for your crippling altitis. Yep. Alright, so we got a decent amount of people in here. I want to start the stream off with just watching this little 3-minute video. It's an IGN video. Some people like IGN, some people don't, but it just goes over the biggest announcements in 3 minutes. It might be a good way to kick it off, get everyone on the same page, and we'll start talking about stuff a little bit more. So I'm just gonna play it.
It feels really great to be able to say the words Diablo 4 out loud.
We are going back to the franchise's darker roots.
Hell is coming. Hell is coming.
It will mean blood and gore. It will mean victories are neither clean nor guaranteed. We hope you're as excited about that as we are.
Monsieur, does this mean Overwatch is back?
Yes. Yes, we are.
I am extremely proud and excited to finally and officially announce Overwatch 2. What we're hoping to do with Overwatch 2 is really redefine what a sequel means. It will be a shared multiplayer environment where no one gets left behind.
The most exciting part of BlizzCon every year is getting to talk about what's coming next. World of Warcraft Shadowlands is coming next year, and it will be available for pre-purchase today. So yeah, that just happened.
That's right. The Year of the Dragon is going to finally earn its name with more dragons in a single Hearthstone expansion than ever before. Hearthstone Battlegrounds is an 8-player mode that is inspired by the popular auto battler genre with a few Hearthstone twists. The open beta for this new mode is going to start on November 12th.
This is Community Night 2019.
I live for this!
The winner of the costume contest is Cinderis Leia Prime.
That cosplay was sick, dude. I saw her out on the floor after during the concert.
Becomes the first woman to reach the pinnacle of competitive Hearthstone. She is your 2019 Blizzcon champion and your 2019 global champion. A new chapter has begun in Hearthstone history.
Jinmu's down. Eileen is missing. The seconds dwindle away. Evildoll tried, but it's not enough. Finally, after 4 years, 3 years of heartbreak, for the very first time, the United States are your Overwatch World Cup champions.
Thank you so much for sharing this weekend with us. We hope you have had an epic BlizzCon 2019.
That's pretty much it, guys. So 3 minutes, they covered a lot. I thought it was a pretty sweet video. Let's see where they started. Okay, all right, now we're gonna get into some of the somewhat spicy stuff, dude. The opening ceremony. Throw one in the chat if you watched the opening ceremony and you saw that Brack apology. Subcargo's hype for Warcraft 3. Oh, dude, hell yeah. I mean, the hype has gone down though. The hype has gone down for me though, because they kind of missed that opportunity a little bit. IMO, like they were just slow with it, and it's probably just gonna be drizzled out here before the end of the year. But like they could have done so much more with it. I'm still gonna play it. I'm very excited. Warcraft 3 was my first taste of Warcraft in general, and I got a lot of love for that game. So I'm definitely gonna play it. Okay, so you guys caught this, right? So let me first say, and this is an unpopular opinion, but both sides of this argument are kind of cringe to me. Like when I was out there at BlizzCon, you saw these protesters out there. They had the little masks on. They're trying to be all edgy. They had like makeup on. They're out there with their little signs and megaphones. And I'm just like, bro, how do you have that much time on your hands to be doing that? And so like, aside from the point, I don't even want to address the Hong Kong point, but some of the people that were actually there on that protester side, don't get me wrong, I'm not like some protester. I've never protested anything in my life. Maybe I should. Maybe I should be more of an advocate for stuff. But I'm just walking through and they're like grilling you and stuff, and I'm just cringing. I'm just trying to get through it, just trying to get into BlizzCon. So I'm not like on their side or really trying to address the actual political issue at all. Like I really could care less, to be honest with you. I just want to play World of Warcraft and drink a Coors Light or two, pet my dogs, you know, chill. But what was kind of funny was the apology to me that JL and Brack did. It felt kind of disingenuous, and if you just really break it down, you might be able to see what I mean. So I'm just gonna play one thing. I'm not super triggered by it or anything. Like I said, I'm not like some political activist or anything, but I'll play the apology for you guys. I want to see what you guys think, and we'll figure it out. All right, here we go.
We're gonna go to opening ceremony, but first, President of Blizzard Entertainment, Jay Allen.
Opening ceremony from your boy Jay Allen Brack. Let's see what he said, dude. Let's see what he said. How you feeling, chat?
Before we start the opening ceremony, I want to say a few words. You know, Blizzard had the opportunity to bring the world together in a tough Hearthstone esports moment about a month ago, and we did not. We moved too quickly in our decision-making, and then, to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you. When I think about what I'm most unhappy about, there's really two things. The first one is we didn't live up to the high standards that we really set for ourselves. And the second is we failed in our purpose. And for that, I am sorry, and I accept accountability. So what exactly... So what exactly is our purpose? Blizzcon is demonstrating it even as we speak. We aspire to bring the world together in epic entertainment. And I truly believe in the positive power of video games. When we get it right, we create a common ground where the community comes together to compete, connect, and play, irrespective of the things that divide us. As an example, BlizzCon has people from 59 countries all around the world here at the show today. That is amazing. And that is the positive power of video games, to transcend divisions that surround us in so many of our places today. We will do better going forward. But our actions are going to matter more than any of these words. As you walk around this weekend, I hope it's clear how committed we are to everyone's right to express themselves in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places. I've actually seen and heard many of you expressing yourself this morning. You use your vacation and your family time to be here in Anaheim with us, and we are so grateful that you're here this weekend. Our best moments are here in our shared passion for Blizzard games. So once again, BlizzCon has brought us together, and today you're going to see a lot of the hard work of the Blizzard team. I am personally so proud of what we are building, and I hope you love it too. Thank you for joining us.
That's pretty much it. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's try and break this down. Let me get your guys' initial reactions to this. Try and approach this with a level head or whatever. Not everything that he said was bad or whatever, right? But there are some things to me that, what did he say, that he's most unhappy about. There's some things from what he said that would make me most off-put by. Real quick though, Sarmanica, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. 8 months in a row. I really, really do. Hope you're doing good, Sarmi. Phase 2 came so early, we not prepared consumable-wise and gear-wise. I feel that, brother. I'm hurting on the gold. I need to be farming. I need to farm pretty hardcore, dude. Let's see. Blizzard stance is pretty simple. Say whatever you want on your own social media. Yeah, I mean, like I said, bro. Are you guys alive in the chat too? There's not too much engagement. I guess there's not that many people in here. You guys all here? You guys sleeping? I mean, here's my thing. Like I said, I'm not like too interested in the political side of it. The whole points, I don't even really care to investigate it to a fine level of detail. I know the broad strokes of Hong Kong and their sovereignty and all that, but just his like facial expressions, and it's like kind of in his eyes, dude. I don't know if that even makes any sense. It just feels kind of like pretentious, kind of condescending, like there's a lot of ego there, man. There's a lot of pride. Like I feel like if Ian delivered that message or something, man, it would have come off better. There's something about it. It's like he has like little microaggressions when he talks. I don't know. And again, man, like, oh, let me see what you guys are thinking right now. Let me see. $11 resets for phase 2 guy. That is plenty of time. Most people firmly believe in a 3-month per phase for WoW Classic time and really follows that belief. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not like too triggered or anything like that. I think it's fine that they're doing the phases like that they're doing right now. I'm just saying I'm hurting on consumes. I wish I had a lot more faps and lips and all that all saved up. I need to I need to hit DM pretty hard this week. He's apologizing because he has to, not because he really feels bad. Yeah, I feel you, man. So, like, I guess I'll just give my 2 cents on it. Doesn't seem like you guys are too into this, so I'll try and move forward quickly. My 2 cents on it, or whatever it's worth, was that he said what he's most unhappy about, which to my mind means like what they're most sorry about or apologetic about or whatever, what have you, was that they failed to live up to their high standards. I don't know if you caught that. And that doesn't even feel like an apology, man. You're just gonna say, you're just like, yo, we set the bar so high, we're so excellent, we're such a good company, we're so good, and we weren't as excellent as we could be. Instead of just being like, yo, we mishandled it, our bad, we're gonna do better. You know, I see you guys out there. You know, we really apologize, and you know, just even a simple statement like that. I don't know. That's how it came off to me. As someone who didn't even really care about the political issue, I just saw this guy up there talking. And I'm like, dude, this guy kind of seems disingenuous, man.
When we get it right.
I noticed the Diablo and Hearthstone panels were pretty quiet and not as excited as the WoW and Overwatch panels. Oh, you think so, Hunter? You think so? He came off super condescending. Then again, we thought we did, but we didn't, so no surprise. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think if Ian delivered this message, it would have come off better, or, you know, Omar or someone else. There's just, I see it in his eyes and in his mannerisms, bro. It's like, sorry, not sorry type of thing. It would have been more sincere apology if he lifted the ban on the dude or something. Oh, yeah, because they held their stance, right? It's literally impossible for a publicly traded company to actually be sorry about something they did in the pursuit of money. I mean, bro, like, they could internally not be sorry about this at all, but deliver this message in a kind of more sincere way. Like, it wasn't even really they didn't even really try to disguise it, dude. He went out there and just was kind of like, sorry, not sorry, dude. Sorry we didn't live up to like the super high standards that we set for ourselves. Anyways, that was the opening ceremony, so we're kind of just going through it chronologically of what happened. So the opening ceremony, this whole brag thing happened. There was a bunch of protesters outside. There were a couple people chimed in during the WoW QA. Hold up, someone's messaging me. Okay. So now on a brighter note, let me switch to a brighter note. Who's hyped for Diablo 4? I came into this not knowing what to expect with Diablo. I played Diablo 3 a pretty good amount, and participated in that real money auction house thing. I played it, for probably hundreds and hundreds of hours when it came out. I remember the scuffed launch that they had. I played D2 and I think even D1 as a kid. I bought that little triple play pack at Costco. My mom bought that for me when I was growing up, and definitely played Diablo. But with that said, I'm not like super well versed in the lore, and would never consider myself like a passionate Diablo gamer, right? So I went into it not really having an expectation for Diablo. Like, I would have been glad to see a Diablo, but oh shit, 10,000 biddies. Thank you so much, Sarmonica. Haven't thrown bits at you in a minute. Gotta help you make up those BlizzCon expenses. Also, D4 hype. Absolutely. Yo, Sarmonica, I really, really appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. #1 supporter of the channel right there. Big Sarmy. Appreciate it. Yeah, next BlizzCon, hopefully you can make it out. I thought you might swing by. Really appreciate it. I ditched D3 and played Grim Dawn. Never regretted it. Grim Dawn is a gem. Never heard of it, man. D4 is 2021 or 2022. Yeah, so we were talking with the lead boss lady or whatever, that she designs the AI for Diablo. She was on the panel. We were just at the Marriott or the Hilton after hours, and we were talking to her, and we were like, how soon is Diablo 4 coming? We were trying to get something juicy out of her, and she kind of deflected it, but also was saying, it's not even close. We're not even Blizzard close. She said something along those lines. We're like, it's not even soon. We're not even Blizzard soon. So she made it seem like they're still a ways off. So if I had to guess, probably be two years till we get D4. But with that said, Diablo 4 looked so fucking hype, guys. I'm not trying to bullshit you. Diablo 4 looks so hype. And when I say so hype, the main thing wasn't even mechanically, you know, how great it played. It did feel very satisfying using a lot of the abilities, like the druid abilities. The sorceress felt very satisfying. The barbarian was kind of all right, you know, it was serviceable, but it didn't really feel super satisfying using the abilities there. But especially the druid, it felt so satisfying each time you threw that boulder or you did the little bear smash. But even aside from that, visually, Diablo 4 is one of the most stunning games I've ever played in my entire life. It has that Blizzard polish, man. It has that polish. The cinematic was insane. And I've been saying this for weeks and weeks, right? I'm like a broken record at this point where I'm saying I really wish Blizzard in general would shift their art direction back to that more gritty, dark, kind of savage, brutal, unapologetic, just the dark color palette, the macabre sort of atmosphere. With Warcraft, that ship has sailed, bro. They're going for Alice in Wonderland, Moana, goth, emo girl style. I don't know. That ship has sailed with the Warcraft, but to see this with Diablo, it checked all the boxes for me. It checked every box. The dark kind of gothic medieval style for a more mature audience. The cinematic, the dialogue. It wasn't super cringe. Like, it was kind of organic. We're gonna play this announcement cinematic trailer in a second here, so you guys can watch it if you haven't watched it already. But it, you know, the scene or the stage of the cinematic, I'll kind of set it a little bit, and I don't know all the inner details because I'm not like a Diablo lore expert. But you're just in this kind of Mines of Moria looking dungeon. They're here, and it just looks like a dungeon party, like a Diablo dungeon party, and they're just there for loot. Like, they're just these little kind of ruffians who are there trying to get some doubloons in this dungeon. And, you know, they brought in this little, you know, kind of zealot, you know, arcanist guy who has all, like, the knowledge. You know, it's kind of a classic medieval tale, or fantasy tale. And they're in here. They're not some huge characters in the Diablo universe. They're kind of talking normally. They're going through it. And I don't want to spoil it. We'll play it in a second, but I was not expecting to be so hyped for Diablo 4, and now I'm very, very excited for it. And when we played it at BlizzCon, they had a whole area set up with a bunch of computers, right? I don't know if it was just super nice computers or super nice monitors or all of the above, but the game was so visually stunning, man. You know, maybe it's because we're playing classic WoW day in and day out, and we're getting used to these 2004 graphics and kind of the stylization with that. But you play Diablo 4, you're going to want to buy a new computer. Anyway, let's get into this cinematic right now. We can stop it periodically because it's 9 minutes. I don't want to play the entire... Maybe I should play the whole 9 minutes. It's worth it, man. But I assume most of you guys have watched it. So anyway, we'll freestyle. Let's go. Even the logo looks so badass, man. I swear. Just look at this. Let me pause it for 1 second. Look how fucking sick this is. This looks like some Witcher cinematic. The dilapidated houses with the moss. Just that whole setting is right there, man. This is it right here. It looks so sick. Kegel, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub, brother. I appreciate it. And Heat Walrus, man. We got some subs today. Appreciate you guys supporting it, man. Pumpkin Spice check. Not pumpkin spice, but we're double fisting the dollar McCafes today. Another 1v1 tournament planned? Yeah, I think next week we're going to do one, man. Another one on Skyrim. Cross-faction. But anyway, just look at that, man. Looks so nice. Anyway.
Quiet. Shut up. They have our scent. Run! Just keep running.
He's not going to make it. He has to.
Blessed Akarat, thy eternal light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides me.
So sick, dude.
All the gold we want is right there.
No, I just came here for knowledge.
They're coming!
I know.
Get over here! Now, breach the seal. Get us through that door.
Oh, light, help me. By three, they come. By three, thy way opens. Blood show. This doesn't make any sense.
It's just beautifully crafted, man.
Blood is the key.
They still got some gamers there at Blizzard, man.
What? I need two of you. No! Go! I'll hold them. Go!
So, it says the blood of the willing goes...
You gotta be kidding me! It worked!
We have to help him!
He's dead already.
Tell me this doesn't get you hype, guys. Tell me this doesn't get you hype.
It's a shame he didn't make it. Oh well, cheer up. Gold splits better 3 ways instead of 4. Must be hidden here somewhere. Read this.
Just compare everything you've seen so far. It's still so detailed, so polished, so smooth, all the animations, and just the color palette. It's so different from Warcraft, man. It's so different. If you look at the Warcraft cinematics, especially the new ones.
By three they come, by three thy way opens, by...
Imagine if Warcraft was like this, dude.
Willing. Hail. Hail the creator. Huh. Hail the daughter of... Oh no. No.
What about the coin? What's it say?
This is forbidden. This is a summoning. I cannot speak.
Don't lie to me! We came here for treasure. What is this place?
I don't know. Maybe it's a temple. Or a tomb, or...
It's another thing too, the way this little storyline is progressing, it's like cinema quality, dude. Like, it's kind of realistic. The dialogue isn't cringy or corny or whatever it is, or overly, you know, simple or whatever. Like, it flows really well too. Like, this is just good entertainment. Like, the cinematic is great storytelling. Not gonna see that in BFA, man. Tell you.
Blessed Akrat, thy eternal light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides me. Though my path is brought to darkness, guide my soul to thy sacred ways.
From the abyss, we see thy salvation. By three they come. By three thy way opens.
So sick, dude. All their little organs and stuff are forming a little blood triangle.
Come.
Man.
Listen, Emperor, thy eternal light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides me.
Open your eyes.
Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal light.
There is no light here. You came to the darkness for knowledge.
Yes.
And all the knowledge you seek is here. Surrender. Speak the words. Call her home.
By three, they come. By three, thy way opens. By the blood of the willing, we call thee home. Hail, daughter of hatred. Creator of sanctuary. Hail. Lilith.
So sick.
Blessed Mother, save us.
Man, dude, that's got to be one of the best cinematics like ever in all of video games. I don't know, maybe I'm overhyping it, but just they don't over sexualize it too. Like, you know, it's just there's no cutesiness to it. Like, it really is hard hitting, dude. It's so hard hitting. Like, storytelling is good, the voice acting is good. Just it feels fresh. It feels original. You know, those small little plots, just with the. You know, as opposed to like the Michael Bay effect, where you go for these huge explosions everywhere and crazy like Call of Duty looking cinematics. When you get this small little plot that unfolds in this way, it's so much harder, man. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. This cinematic has got me hype. It makes me feel like there's something for the OG hardcore PC gamers, right? You look at BFA, you look at Shadowlands. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, right? It looks all cutesy. It looks Fortnite-y. It looks whimsical. Alice in Wonderland, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the art direction. And that's cool. You know, it's their IP. They're doing it. But at the end of the day, Warcraft has turned more into like a sci-fi space game as opposed to this. Diablo is more of that dark medieval feel. And let me know in the chat, what do you guys like more? Space, sci-fi, fantasy? Or dark, medieval, sword and shield, realistic type fantasy? I think a lot of us signed up when we signed up for Warcraft. We signed up for that kind of an orc freaking a savage orc army meeting a battalion of Stormwind infantry out on the Barrens, and them just like charging at each other and having these epic battles off in the Barrens. I don't know if a lot of people signed up for like the interplanetary galactic spaceship battles of Warcraft that we see now. So sick. So sick. Well, I mean, not real. I mean, when I say realistic, bro, I mean more realistic, right? Like in the sense of when you look at the Diablo 4 lore, it's inspired by, you know, civilizations, like human civilizations of the past. You know, when it looks at the architecture and the type of weaponry they use and the type of scenery they use in the zones and stuff like that. Medieval for sure. Yeah, we signed up for that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the new Warcraft, when I was watching the WoW QA or the WoW panels, the way they're describing the new WoW, they're using words like cosmos, planets, celestial. They said one of the zones is supposed to be modeled after like a celestial moon forest or something, or celestial night forest. Either way, a lot of the verbiage they're using is clear. Their direction, they're moving for that kind of like sci-fi, kind of Star Wars, space fantasy. And, you know, original WoW, like classic WoW, the WoW that we all really, most of us probably here like the most, that's nothing but a little footnote in the Warcraft lore. That's just a little tiny footnote at the bottom of like the WoW history textbook. The main broad strokes of the lore in Warcraft are dealing with titans and old gods and spaceships and aliens and stuff like that. So a Disney Force, exactly. That's what I'm saying. D4 just feels so milk toast to me. Like that whole buy 3 thing felt so clunky. Does it really? Yeah, I mean, compared to what though? Show me something else Blizzard's putting out that's hitting harder than this. This looks... I've been talking about it for weeks, right? You've heard it on the GMA. I was just thinking to myself, man, how cool would it be? What do you guys think though? Like, imagine Warcraft was cast in this same light. How fucking cool that would be, dude. I don't know, man. It would be so sick. But it was good. Coming away from BlizzCon, there's another game I'm actually genuinely excited for. That genuinely checks all the boxes. And now, even though Blizzard has all these cutesy games that they're coming out with the Overwatch, with the new WoW expansion and all this, at least they have something there for the hardcore OG PC gamers. That they have this, you know, this hard-hitting, dark, medieval fantasy, and it seems like the direction of this is looking really strong. PoE is more interesting due to the huge talent tree. That's something I've been hearing about. People, I don't know if you guys have played Path of Exile. I have not, but I've been hearing people rant and rave about it, saying it's so good, and that Path of Exile has so much complexity to it. And my understanding from it is that PoE has way more like theory crafting capabilities, and the talent trees are way more exciting and dynamic and stuff than something like Diablo 3. But PoE is made by some kind of smaller game studio. It doesn't have that polish that Diablo has. It doesn't have that storied past. Potentially doesn't have that same rich lore. It doesn't have these hard-hitting cinematics that will get you so hyped for the game. Like, imagine World of Warcraft Original Vanilla came out without that OG cinematic with the dwarf in front of Ironforge with this blunderbuss and the bear and all that. And if you look at that old school cinematic, that, dude, it's very different from the newer cinematics. Like, you look at the elves in there and you look at Sylvanas. Maybe we should do that. You can probably visualize it though. Imagine the old cinematic, the classic WoW cinematic, and you see the, you know, that little scene where the night elf, she turns into a cat and she's like jumping over the waterfall. That night elf, that elf looks way different than the Sylvanas you see in the cinematics. You see the Sylvanas you see in the new cinematics, looks like an emo girl that just walked out of Hot Topic. That just walked out of, you know, got the eyeliner dripping down her face. It's different, man. It's different. And yeah. Not over the top gore. I haven't played PoE. I haven't played PoE. I'd be down to try it though. WoW is not space at all. You would think that, right? You would think that WoW is not a space game, but really break it down. Someone tell me the lore of WoW and talk about the actual important big broad strokes and events when it comes to the Cataclysm and the Old Gods and the Titans. Tell me how that's not space, man. You're dealing with space. Legion, you were actually on a spaceship. Now I'm saying, now we have mechanical gnome cyborg things. We have Volpera, these little... I don't know, seems like a space game to me. I want an entire movie like this. That would be sick, right? That would be absolutely sick. We're going to play the Shadowlands trailer. I will start it. I'm going to grab something from the fridge. I'll just start playing the Shadowlands trailer because that's the next thing I want to talk about. Bottom line, Diablo 4 looks amazing. Look at the logo. Just look at the way the characters look. It checks every box for me, and I'm probably going to play it and make content for it. Let me start this Shadowlands cinematic trailer, and then I'll be right back.
Ice Crown. A monument to our suffering. The veil between life and death. Where a usurper sits on a frozen throne. But no king rules forever.
Alright, I'm actually not done talking about Diablo. I want to talk about Diablo a little bit more and compare them, because I think there's some interesting stuff to be said. Where I'm more interested in where I'm like wrong, or where you guys think I'm off base with this stuff, because it's one thing to be in a stream and it's just an echo chamber of everybody agreeing. What am I missing here? I don't know. I feel like Warcraft and the current canon lore of Warcraft and the direction they brought it in, it's like a space, it's like a fantasy game set in a sci-fi space kind of universe, right? And you're looking at the main characters that actually matter in the lore, that are, you know, it's not just a little footnote, like the Defias Brotherhood, Ragnaros, the little Onyxia thing, all that stuff is nothing, dude. It's like a tiny, tiny footnote at the bottom of page 400, or no, 14 or whatever on the WoW history books. That's sort of the stage that WoW has moved in. You look at the different zones and the different kind of creatures, the lore is kind of just all over the place. Doesn't feel very cohesive and stuff. Diablo is the medieval one. Diablo was the coolest thing there. Yeah, I'm so excited for Diablo, man. I really am. I want to cover it closely and give it a real shot. And once you guys play it, when you watch the gameplay footage, which we can watch a little bit of, I think I have it loaded up, gameplay demo. So this dude's playing it, right? Even this, watching him play this right now doesn't do it justice. This doesn't do it justice, what you're watching right now. When you're there, sitting there, and you see this on those monitors that they laid out for you, guys, it's insane. It looks so high fidelity, all the textures. It was almost that same feeling I got when, you guys remember when you first played Gears of War way back in the day, and they had that kind of new stylized kind of like shininess to stuff? Everything looked absurdly detailed. But even though it was absurdly detailed, it was absurdly smooth. All the animations and stuff, like, it felt incredibly polished. Even the game's not going to come out for 2 years. And like, yeah, this does just no justice to it. Like, playing this at the demo spot was so much fun, dude. We partied up together. It was Grace for days, Keith, myself. We partied up. We were going through the dungeons, and they have these bosses now. It's almost kind of like an MMO with the new Diablo. They said that you're gonna just run into other people. So you're just walking around the town. You're going outside the town, and you walk into other people, and you see them, and you can kill these world boss type things. They're like events, and you kill them. So there's kind of like MMO components to it. I don't think they had that in the past Diablos or anything like that. But even these little like interim cinematics, like right here, when I saw that skull, and your character pulls that skull out of the water, bros, let me tell you, it was so sick. This is just doing it 5% justice if you actually were able to see it on your own computer playing with a nice graphics card. I was there, and you played it yourself. Feels great. Oh, Zero was there. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It felt insane. I played the demo, and I immediately just wanted to play again. I just wanted to get back in line. I wasn't expecting that at all. I really couldn't care less about the panels or whatever. I was like, dude, I need to play Diablo again right now. Get back in line. We played it a bunch of times, and it's the world. Like I said, it just checks all the boxes, and I think there's a pretty good shot. And I'm not even a Diablo head. Like, I don't even know much about the lore or anything. But if it had that effect on me, probably a lot of you guys, it's going to have the same effect on. I would be really excited for it. I would be really excited for it. The Druid alone was nothing like I played in other ARPGs. Yeah. I mean, like, the Druid was my favorite class out of all of them. In the demo, they had the Sorcerer, or Sorceress, or Sorcerer. They had Barbarian and they had Druid. The Druid is my favorite. The Druid felt so sick. You can make these wolves here. You can also like bowling ball a boulder, and just it's a very satisfying ability to use. You can like pound the earth and do this AoE circle damage around you. Man, so much fun. It looked good, but mechanics-wise, yeah. So here's the thing. I was talking to Melderon, right? I was talking to Keith. I was talking to Melderon. I was talking to people that played Diablo 2 back in the day, and they weren't as hyped for it as I was. Okay, just full transparency. They were saying, yeah, the cinematics looked really good, everything looked really good, but they said, like, mechanically, it felt like the Diablo 3 engine. It didn't feel different to them. So I think why I'm so hype about it is that the art style and is such a breath of fresh air. It's so needed right now that I was so sprung on it off the art alone. But mechanically, maybe the game has a ways to go to be on point with like Path of Exile and D3 and stuff. But I'm sure Blizzard's tracking Path of Exile and they're watching how Path of Exile is doing stuff, and it's gonna affect some of their decisions. It'd be crazy not to. It'd be crazy not to. Cargos, I'm a Diablo 2 mega fan and speedrunner and streamer in the past. Oh shit, that's crazy, Kilroth. Are you excited for it, man? How do you feel about D4? Well, they said 5 classes at launch and probably 2 more with the expansion. Yeah, okay, also, here's an unpopular opinion. Being completely honest with you guys. Now, Diablo 4 had me so sprung that I started checking out Diablo Immortal a little bit. And I would rather play, here's the unpopular opinion, I would rather play Diablo Immortal than Shadowlands, probably. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't captivate your attention that long. I never tried. It's like if I'm going to invest into the Diablo IP and start learning about the lore, learning about the characters, learning about just the universe in general, I would want to play that game because I don't know how it pertains to the lore, but I assume it's still in the same universe and stuff like that. Whereas Shadowlands, I just felt so disconnected from the community. It's probably going to be the first. Shadowlands is going to be the first expansion I'm probably not going to buy. And if you look up on the wall behind me, I bought every WoW expansion, even BFA, level to max in every single one of them. At least dabbled in the endgame PvE content in pretty much every single one of them. PvP'd primarily for the last couple. And now that Classic's out, I don't really feel compelled at all to get the Shadowlands one. And we'll play the cinematic. Maybe it'll hype people up. But during the WoW QA panel, when it came to the WoW QA, I felt like I wasn't sitting there, with my people. Everybody was just asking really about transmog, about cosmetic stuff, Blood Elf facial features, the what do they call it, heirloom armor or whatever, the covenants, all this stuff. They're thinking about merging the factions. They're adding these strange races. Let me see what you guys think. At this point, you have to get Shadowlands. Fuck Shadowlands, made Classic is still where it's at. That's what I'm saying, dude. Let's play the Shadowlands cinematic and see what you guys think. So let's look at the upvote to downvote ratio. I actually didn't look at this until just now. 101k upvote, 33k downvote. So actually kind of a good amount of people don't like it. While I was at BlizzCon, I watched this, and don't get me wrong, there's still some cool elements to it. Like, look at this undead army. Lich King is pretty badass. But ultimately, my take from the cinematic trailer, I wasn't too impressed, because comparatively to the Diablo trailer, it felt way more corny and kind of cliche, kind of more of the same. They're kind of speaking in these overly epic sort of kind of just like strange lines that they'll be going back and forth before you'll see what I mean when I play it. It's not the most inspiring cinematic IMO. It's visually impressive. We'll play it. Let's play it. Shadowlands trailer, here it comes. Cartoony character is a fantasy character. That's what I'm saying. Comic booky. That's what I'm saying. And if you look at this is what I'm saying. So Shadowlands, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be skewing it because they're gonna explain it better than me. But the way they explained it when they're pitching Shadowlands is they said there's going to be this contrast of really beautiful things and then really dark, kind of whimsical Nightmare Before Christmas things. That's what it looked like. So they're like dark, scary zones looked very Nightmare Before Christmas, like classic Halloween cartoony. And then the very beautiful things that they were saying, to me, reminded me of like a mixture of Cat in the Hat and Alice in Wonderland. And from a pure objective art standpoint, if I didn't know it was Warcraft, these zones look visually nice, right? They look cool, but anyway, let's play this. Even if Shadowlands blows, you have to get it just because you bought every expansion so far. I don't know. My little poster thing up there wouldn't be complete, that's for sure. Let's watch it.
Ice Crown.
That looks sick. Ice Crown looks sick.
A monument to our suffering. The veil between life and death.
Here's one thing too. Maybe I'm ruining the cinematic quality of it, but fuck it, you guys are probably watching this already. When characters are kind of too strong, I don't know. When characters are too strong, it kind of messes with the integrity of the universe a little bit. Like, you remember when Dragon Ball Z and these other IPs where people just become too powerful that they're just like killing planets in one shot? I don't know. Just as a general preference, it'd be cool if even the heroes of the universe can still kind of get fucked up by like a handful of guys. Just keep that in mind.
A usurper sits on a frozen throne. But no king rules forever.
All right, look at that. I mean, like I said, what did I say a few minutes ago? Remember the OG Classic WoW cinematic and how the elves looked versus this. Most people, I'm probably gonna say 90% of people like the new Sylvanas model. They like the new Jaina model. They like it, right? It looks like a goth girl that walked out of Hot Topic to me. You can see the cosplays right now. It's like, I don't know, man. Is she even supposed to be that strong? Just walk up in here and just one-shot the Lich King like that? I thought the Lich King was so strong. She's too pretty now? I feel you on that. I feel you. It's too cutesy, man. Got like eyeliner running down her face. Just walk right up into Ice Crown and just one-shot the Lich King, bro, and just rip his helmet into pieces.
You are unfit fit to wear this crown. To wield so much power.
That power will be your prison.
This world is a prison.
You see this though, dude? Wield all this power. This world is a prison. That shit is so corny. I'm just gonna straight up call it as I see it. That's so corny, man. It's like an anime fight, dude. I don't know. It's clearly beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's millions of dollars spent into this. This cinematic is like worth more than my life. You know, like they spent all these resources. But as far as hard hitting, like edgy, punchy dialogue and cool, inspired looking characters and scenery, doesn't do it for me.
And I will set us all free.
There it is, boys. Best game ever. That's what I'm saying, dude. You used to be scared of the Lich King. You used to think Icecrown Citadel was like this untouchable dark fortress. He just walks right up in there, past all the guards. What's up? What's up? And we just walk up to the Lich King, couple arrows, dead. I don't know, man. And then like, all right, balance me out, chat. Out of 10, rate this cinematic, chat. Out of 10, balance me out. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe this is the best cinematic ever. What would you rate this cinematic out of 10? Alright, some 9s, some 6s, some 9s, some 3s, 2, 7. Visually 10 out of 10. You almost have to give it visually 10 out of 10 on every Blizzard cinematic, because shit is just so insanely high quality in terms of like the polish and visually they all like just look insane, right? But the story, uninspiring out of 10. D4 10 out of 10. Shadowlands, oh yeah. So tell me your D4 cinematic rating versus Shadowlands cinematic rating. Story 3, 9 out of 10. Seems like some of you like it. Yeah, man, I'm 8-up boomer, and I just like dark, macabre games that appeal to a very niche minority. I don't know. D4 10 out of 10, both 9. Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense, though. It's too different. Yeah. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. They're squishing the levels down to 60. So I think you start at 50, and then you work your way up to 60. Here's the... Yo. How do we look at all these thematics? Sylvanas kills Sarfang and Makura. Okay, I know what to look up. Alright, we're going to look up this 25 years of Warcraft thing. So let's take a look at this 25 years of Warcraft cinematic that they played. Now, just keep in mind everything I was saying with the 25 years things, right? Ultimately, it's just still like a really cool thing to watch. Everybody really enjoyed it, right? The game's been around for so long, the Warcraft IP. But I want to point out a couple things as we go. 25 years is a long time, man. Almost as old as me. Look at that. Look how sick that looks.
cries of war.
This is Warcraft. This is what I want Warcraft to be. Selfishly. A Stormwind like infantry unit meeting people out in the plains of the Barrens, and they're he's throwing the sword up and they're charging with their Lordaeron flags, and they're meeting a band of ragtag, savage, brutal orcs out on the plains, and they're tearing each other to shreds. That's like the classic orcs versus humans Warcraft.
Echo upon the winds.
My son, a terrible darkness has returned to our world.
He looks kind of cool, actually.
What am I supposed to do now? What a king must do.
What are you doing, my son? Succeeding you, father.
You lost it.
Yo, what is that, though? Look at the torn. Look at the torn. Oh my god. Dude. Hell yeah, dude. The Sylvanas makeup tutorial, guys. So what do you do? Check it out. Right there.
You must rally the Horde and lead your people to their destiny.
This is the cinematic I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. I think it's called Home, right? So this very different from the OG Warcraft orc style. You guys tell me how this is different, because I have a hard time explaining it. But this orc looks kind of Disney Pixar. I don't know. It's like something I see at Chuck E. Cheese. How is this orc different from, let me see, let me go back to another orc in this. Find another one, dude. Find another orc, man. Looks more friendly and human than savage and alien. Pretty good way of explaining it. Yeah, the color palette's like baby blue skies. The guy's chilling there. He's like, I don't know. Keep it in mind. Oh, dude, I mean, this is it, dude. I'm about to expect, whenever I see these type of cinematics with Jen, I know you guys love them. I'm expecting the next scene, she's going to burst out into song, and it's going to be that when Disney merges with Activision, they're going to have musical cinematics.
You and I stood side by side.
What's different this time?
Just compare this with the Diablo cinematic. I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but just
different this time.
We are.
My old friend. You and I.
He looks kind of cool, actually.
We don't get to hide.
Dude, look at the Tauren here, dude. Look at the Tauren in the OG cinematic. He actually make the Tauren look sick. Sorry for skipping around like this. Try and freeze frame it. Like, that Tauren looks awesome, dude. To me.
Shadow of my wings. Did you think we had forgotten? Sometimes the hand of fate must be forced.
Looks like Disney Hulk. There you go, dude. There you go. Looks like Disney Hulk. It's crazy though, because in some of the cinematics, it's almost like an inconsistency with the art style. Because this is a Legion cinematic, right? Dude, that would be sick. I would love the orcs to look like this, man. You kidding me? Look. Look at that, bro. This would be sick. This, if Warcraft was cast in this light, oh boy. Is that Legion? Oh, that guy looks amazing too.
And now you dare enter my realm.
You are not prepared.
Look at this. Tell me it's not a space game.
The day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. We will never be slaves! The true question is, what is worth fighting for?
For the Alliance!
For Azeroth!
No matter what you fight for,
You never
Fight.
Alone.
Ultimately, a pretty sick video. Hopefully, I made some sort of sense. It's kind of all over the place. Sometimes they hit you with this really savage, awesome art style, and then sometimes it goes straight Disney Pixar on you. Let's see here. So we talked about Diablo. Talked about Mr. Brack. We talked about Shadowlands. What are we missing? Hearthstone. Sure they're doing stuff. Overwatch. Oh, I will say that one thing that I found surprising at BlizzCon is it felt, I don't know if it was accurate, but it felt like the majority of people were there to support which game? Which game? Alright, I just kind of led the passer there, but they're there. It felt like people were there to support Overwatch primarily, which was interesting, man. I really was not expecting that, but Overwatch has something like 20 million players. I saw some people throwing around that number. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently a ton of people play Overwatch, and it might be their most successful game. What do you guys think? You think Overwatch is their most successful game? Overwatch is huge. The Overwatch demo line was the second longest next to D4. I'm glad StarCraft 2 had 80k views on Twitch, if that's true, man. Because I still really love StarCraft. StarCraft is an awesome game. Some of the casters have been there from the very start, like Artosis, the Tastosis combo, Pylon Show, GSL. I've watched StarCraft content for years and years. Love that game. Big time. So I'm glad that they still had their spot there at BlizzCon. In the short term, yeah, I think it had the largest, fastest success. SC2 had a good showing, but Overwatch, I think, for sure had the largest. Yep. Okay, so now we can talk about Classic. Let's talk about Classic. I'll let this play in the background, no sound. So let's talk about Classic for a little bit. They didn't really have a panel or really anything dedicated to Classic. Okay. They had a WoW QA panel, like just an overall World of Warcraft QA panel, and people had questions that I guess were pre-screened, and a couple of them did some protest stuff, and it made it kind of awkward for a second. They had Taliesin and Evitel hosting it, which I'm not going to comment on, but it was kind of corny. And pretty much there was one question, I believe, only one, related to Classic, and the question was, now that we see Classic out there, do you guys plan on doing TBC and Wrath of the Lich King servers? And they didn't really shy away from the question too much. They kind of took it on, and they were saying like, yeah, we don't see why that doesn't make logical sense. You know, that seems like the likely next steps. But they were hesitant to commit to it because they said, we want to feel you out as a community. We want to do it right. We want to handle it. We want to handle it well, right? And not rush into it. Because they said, I think verbatim, some people when they signed up for Classic WoW weren't signing up for TBC as well. We also got a chance to just talk with some of the developers one-on-one. None of them hard committed to saying TBC 100%, but it seems very likely at this point, or likely, that TBC and Lich King will just be an eventuality. So I'm curious what you guys think about that. I wouldn't mind it for sure, but I think it would be too soon to do it, even announce it. Maybe announce it next year, and then have it launch a year after that or something. I think they need Classic, like give it 2-3 years just for Classic to marinate and give the people what they wanted. But wasn't too much info on Classic, which was a little bit disappointing. And also another thing I want to point out is that while we were at BlizzCon, it didn't feel like everybody played Classic, or even the majority played Classic. It still very much felt like the minority were playing Classic, and the people that were playing Classic weren't even really level 60 or anything. They really weren't participating too much in the end game content. It felt like maybe 20% of the Warcraft people there were there supporting Classic as their primary game. You saw them occasionally with the Classic WoW shirts on and stuff like that. But on that same note, when we were asking Omar and some of the devs of how they think Classic is doing, they said that they're very, very happy with the performance of it. So Blizzard probably has a good taste in their mouth with regard to the legacy server project, Classic WoW project. And again, that's more evidence to support that TBC and Lich King will come at some point. Classic still under Activision's radar? I really have no idea, man. Oh, I tried to ask Omar what game is more popular. I was trying to get it out of him, saying, you know, is Classic is there more people playing Classic than BFA? He dodged it. He dodged it. Rightfully so. He can't just leak that, I guess, but then he responded. He was saying that they're really happy with the performance of Classic, so he didn't commit to say it was bigger or less. If I had to guess, though, what would you guys guess? The amount of people playing BFA versus Classic right now? I'll tell you my guess. I want to get a couple guesses from you guys first, though. Wrath of the Lich King's had major problems, huge class homogenization changes, Dungeon Finder, and raid difficulties. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of in love with the trilogy. Then after the trilogy, the game was kind of dead to them. Kind of wasn't that severe for me, but after the trilogy, even Wrath of the Lich King, I started to kind of fall off a little bit. Like the game a little bit less than I did before. 40 to 60 BFA. 60 Classic, 40 BFA. Alright, well, if I had to guess, if I was a betting man, gun to my head, had to guess, I would guess it would be 60-40 BFA. With more people playing BFA, somehow. Yeah, that's what I would guess at the moment. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a huge Classic maybe there's a lot of people playing Classic, but just a ton of them didn't go out to BlizzCon, and maybe rightfully so, because there wasn't really any programming related to Classic. But it does feel like, at least at BlizzCon and the way that they've steered the announcements and stuff, they mentioned Classic a bunch, but if Classic was truly more people playing Classic than BFA, don't you think they would have had more Classic programming at BlizzCon? If truly the numbers were 70-30 Classic to BFA, I feel like they would have had no choice. They would have had to talk about Classic a lot, but maybe not. Also, Phase 2 got announced. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It's coming out in a few days, something like 7-8 days. So that's going to be the rank 14 PvP system. Very exciting. Some people are saying too soon. Get the 60, man, if you're not 60, because it's going to get a whole lot harder. Or people didn't go to BlizzCon because it's expensive as fuck. Yeah, it was pretty expensive. For sure. It was pretty expensive. When logging into retail, it feels empty. What is there time to talk about for Classic? There's nothing new, Cargos. I get you like Classic, but what the heck? Well, they could talk about... Well, look, this is the thing. They wouldn't have to talk about it. They could have just hosted some events there for Classic, is what I'm saying. They could have done a Classic WoW meet and greet, or talked to... you know, just a panel of the Classic WoW devs, and you got to just ask questions about Classic WoW development process, TBC, something dedicated to legacy servers. They could have done, I mean, just anything to give a little bit of an official space for the whole legacy Classic WoW community to go and do something. We didn't get that at all, so I don't know. It tells me that maybe it didn't make as much of a splash as it could have. I think coming from the speed of this all, I think they're going to be separate BGs from Phase 3. I think BGs will come out separate from Phase 3. You think they're going to do some kind of weird half stagger of the phasing again, Killroth? It's possible. It's definitely possible. They just can't admit it too much that Classic is a huge success. They still got to promote BFA or be seen as failures. That is a possibility, Navas, dude. It's a possibility. Yeah, that maybe Classic is bigger than BFA, and they just kind of have a lot of pride and they don't want to acknowledge it as the main game. It does feel like they still shill BFA a lot with Classic, right? Every time you go to the launcher, you see them promoting the BFA stuff. You're going to see Shadowlands pre-purchase everywhere. BFA is a cash shop, Classic doesn't. Yeah, no doubt. Who's not skill-based comp? Probably both less than 2 million. Player base. Hey Cargos, I asked you this before, I'm sorry for that, but can you quick tell me Hunter, Warlock, and BGs, just one word? They're both really fun to play in BGs. They're both fantastic PvP classes. Kind of different roles though. Hunter, you can be like a flag defender, or you can, I don't know. I don't want to speak too definitively because Hunter can just sit midfield and control people and stop people from running away and stuff like that. Both really fun to play. I think if you're playing solo in a battleground, nah, man, they're both really fun to play. I really can't compare them and say one is better or worse than the other. They're just different, man. I really enjoy Hunter and AV. I'll tell you, it's so much fun throwing down traps and Viper stinging 9 million people and you know, just aim shotting people from behind some mountain that they can't even see you at. It's really fun. But you can do the same thing with the Destro Warlock. They're both really fun in BGs. What add-on do you use to track dot timers? It's called NUG Runner. N-U-G Runner. Alright. So I think we talked about everything, man. We talked about Classic. We talked about Overwatch. We're gonna do a GMA on Thursday, and I also hope to do a lot more shows, guys. I want to do some more shows moving forward. I think shows are pretty fun, natural, kind of unscripted content. A lot of people just don't necessarily want to watch guides all the time or anything like that. They just want to watch some people talk about the game, you know, sincerely as a group and have some good discussions and stuff. So I think I want to try and move towards 2 episodes of GMA per week in addition to a PvP show. Also going to be doing some class 1v1, just like dual kind of matchups, how to do matchups like Warlock versus Rogue, Warlock versus Mage, Warlock versus Warrior, stuff like that. Hopefully put out a lot of PvP content soon. But it was fun hanging out with you guys today. I appreciate you putting up with my venting here. I hope you guys had a good week of BlizzCon, watching it and all that stuff. There's some exciting stuff to come. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna drop now. I'll try and stream tomorrow as well. Have a good day.